Hello, and welcome to my watch along of WWE Elimination Chamber 2013. Now, disclaimer, you might be able to see my WWE network on the screen right now, but we are not going to be watching this in the sense that I'll be showing the whole show because copyright law is a thing. If you don't understand this and you want to complain in the comments, feel free. It won't change anything. Copyright law is still a thing. I am still not allowed to just upload entire WWE pay-per-views to YouTube. It's very simple. Now, if you also have the WWE Network or Peacock, I assume people with Peacock can still use it to watch old content like you can on the WWE Network, then feel free to fire it up and watch that alongside me and hear what I have to say as we go through this event. And the reason we're doing this, by the way, you can see the date there. This event took place exactly 10 years ago today. And it's, well, you can read the synopsis for yourself. It's an interesting one. For the first time in over a decade, The Rock is WWE champion. But a fuming CM Punk, no controversy around that, man, is determined to make the Great One's reign a footnote and get his title back. 6. Now, the interesting bit there is obviously the 6 ... But yeah, so what we're going to do in a second is, well, I'm waffling to give you the opportunity to fire up your network, but if you need to, just pause the video to give yourself a little bit more time. But we're going to sync up pressing the play button. I'm going to include like the first 5 seconds so you can see if you've got it in sync with me. And if not, you can just rewind both and try again, both the YouTube video and the network video, and try again. But then this is going to fade to just like a holding screen and no sound from the event. And I'm just going to talk about what we're watching. So get yourself set up so that you can watch along with me and let's have some fun. So this is your final opportunity, really, to pause the video and get set up, because in about 5 seconds we're gonna get going. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we're about to sync up pressing play. That's enough time for you to have pressed pause. So we're gonna sync up pressing play, and you'll be able to, I'm gonna count down. I'm going to make a big deal of hitting the button near the microphone. Hopefully it picks it up. I have changed my microphone settings since the last time I did this, but I'm going to try and make it as loud as possible. And we're going to, well, I'll show you the first 5 seconds as well. So, you ready? We're going to sync up in 3, 2, 1. I don't know if my mic picked that up, but you can see the timer. Okay, now we're going to fade it out. I'm not going to skip the intro. Because, I mean, one thing WWE does better than anyone, no matter what the product is like, is video packages, right? They're always worth a watch. Look at some of these AEW wrestlers. I've seen 4 already. I mean, not technically wrestler, but you know what I mean, Mark Henry. AEW personalities. We've seen Jericho, Swagger, Henry, Daniel Bryan. Basically, that entire Elimination Chamber seems to have been made up of people that ended up in AEW. Well, not the whole thing, obviously. Orton's there. And Kane. Oh, remember the Shield? The Shield was so cool. Whatever happened to these guys? He said in a promo, which is words. It's Cena, Bald Cena, and Ginger Irish Cena. Remember when every big babyface had to just try and become John Cena? That was why face Sheamus didn't really work. They tried to turn him into just John O'Cena shit, didn't they? Remember when 434 seemed like a long reign? What a difference a decade makes, eh? I have that Knees to Faces shirt. I do also have the Rock one that it's like a parody of. What wrestling merch do you have? Let me know in the comments. So we've got Rock, CM Punk. We've got, if I remember correctly, the Elimination Chamber is for the shot at the World Heavyweight Champion at WrestleMania because John Cena won the Royal Rumble and is definitely challenging the WWE Champion, from what I remember at this point. And then we've got that Shield versus the Three Cenas match, and they're like the three main sort of big marquee matches on this show. New Orleans, I've been in that arena. 16 PPVs in a row, that guy sign said. I'm jealous of that. That's a cool lifestyle, just roaming around watching all the pay-per-views. So it's just a title match as opposed to the Chamber, because I feel like the Chamber was for the #1 contendership, right? Big Show. Should we do an AEW counter? So we got heel Big Show because he's not doing big smiles. Oh my god, we're starting things off with Big Show and Alberto Del Rio. Oh, heck. WrestleMania. Ah! He's just making noises. Oh my god. 10 years ago, WWE doing Nickelodeon paint uh, spots. I was supposed to cheer Alberto Del Rio. Does anyone ever really want to cheer Alberto Del Rio? It's called Slime. Nickelodeon Slime, isn't it? Yeah, I couldn't think of the word for a second there. Rodriguez. I like this guy. Just not Del Rio. An over intro for a not that over guy. Let's see if the crowd actually care about Del Rio at this point. Hindsight is 2020, isn't it, at the end of the day? I will stand by it though. I was never a Del Rio fan. Yeah, the fans don't seem that loud. Yeah, I agree. I agree, JBL. That's a sentence I don't say often. He's such an unnatural babyface. He's like, He's like, what? I guess I go and shake everyone's hand? Yeah. Because he's just not a very nice, likable man. Yeah, get this absolute mess show out the way. Oh my god, there was almost a cheer then. There was a little bit of a cheer, wasn't there? Well, there's no accounting for taste. Hey, if anyone who was at this show happens to see this video, do let me know. Be honest. Were you were you that guy cheering for Del Rio? If so, why? Because I never liked Del Rio. I never thought he was very charismatic. I thought he was passable in the ring, but there was always better. He just didn't seem very likable, even when he was trying to play a babyface. And he wasn't the right kind of hateable as a heel either. He was very much get off my TV heat for me personally. Big Show thumbing him in the belly button there, it seemed. Why doesn't Big Show just punch him? Like, his finish is just a punch. Just punch him. Hit him harder next time, Big Show. Hit him harder. He's giving him some of his own medicine. When did Big Show ever steal anyone's tires or pour paint on them? I don't remember these storylines, Michael Cole. Whatever it takes. I love this era of, like, the face commentators trying to justify what the faces do. Like, oh, hang on. Shh. Oh, so who remembers the era where the face commentator was actually kind of mostly unbiased? Like, Jim Ross would get invested sometimes when someone was particularly despicable as a heel, and he'd get angry at Triple H a lot, for example, or he'd occasionally support Stone Cold and he was fighting, fighting Vince McMahon or Triple H or whatever. But generally speaking, it'd be King as the heel that was dead biased, and it would be the face commentator that was pretty impartial and actually just calling the action. Right now, we've got Michael Cole justifying stealing someone's tires and pouring paint on them just because they're the babyface in the feud. Like, do you know what I mean? It just seems stupid. And bye, Felicia. Oh my god, people are actually doing the C thing. How's that residual popularity from Daniel Bryan? Del Rio. So this is 2013. This is before Daniel Bryan, like, won the world title. That was next year. Like, that wasn't even this year's WrestleMania. That was the year after, right? That was my first WrestleMania. 30. But the yes thing is already enough of a thing for Del Rio to have piggybacked on it with the C thing. But it took him over a year to get there. That's wild. That's wild. In fact, hasn't the yes thing already been going for over a year? Because wasn't it the previous year's WrestleMania where Daniel Bryan was world champion and had started doing the yes thing and then lost to Sheamus in, like, record time? As if it took him, like, 2 years to get there. What are they arguing about now? You're just being a bully. His job is to fight people, and he's the biggest one. Does that make him a bully by default? Like, do you have to be bigger than someone to be a bully? I'm not sure Michael Cole understands bullying. which surprises me. It's a beautiful super kick to the throat because he couldn't get his boot up to his face, I'm guessing. Maggle. Uh-oh. I'm guessing Del Rio moves. He actually didn't. Just punch him. Your finish is literally a punch, my dude. Big Show should have been undefeated for so long. His finisher was just a punch. How many wrestlers don't connect with a single punch to the face in a match? That was very not fluid. But you know what? It looked quite good, actually, in a way. It looked more sort of legit than the lovely fluid roly-poly through one. Looked like he was forcing Big Show down. Ricardo Rodriguez. His foot's already there, like, but... Reluctantly, because he didn't have the wits to come up with a justification quickly enough. I mean, it's a three-man move. There's no reason why you can't have a non-biased play-by-play and then a face colour and a heel colour. There's no reason they couldn't have just done that. Michael Cole does not need to be so biased. God, this era of WWE was... It had its positives, don't get me wrong. Sorry, just having a drink, but boy, did it have its negatives. Alberto Del Rio being a big one. Michael Cole in this era being a big negative as well. Just the commentary in general. Michael Cole, JBL, and Jerry Lawler. It's not the greatest lineup ever. See, why didn't you just punch him in the face then instead of the body? Just pin him and win. I doubt it. Big one, though. Whee! This match hasn't been as abysmal as I was expecting it to be. Honestly. I'm going to give credit where it's due. I don't like Del Rio. I don't think Big Show really needs to be in a world title situation, but it's a B pay-per-view. Just passing the time to get Del Rio to WrestleMania can't really begrudge it too bad. But Del Rio is the face. In any feud, I don't see how Del Rio's the face. Like, literally any feud. And now he's doing the babyface beat the count spot. The heel. This is what I do. I say it on you. Shades of Rey Mysterio trying to use the fact that they both have Mexican heritage to be like, hey, like me. Please like me. What? He wants to be the champion for all the people that struggle to put food on the table. What? Like, I get you might want to give him a face run every so often, you know, for a bit of variety. But why make him a face for the little man when his entire gimmick the whole time he was a heel was, look at me, I'm rich, I have all these cars. That bit makes no sense. This genuinely hasn't been that bad a match, honestly. Definitely exceeded my expectations coming into it. I haven't looked into the card, by the way. All I know about it is what the synopsis on the WWE Network and the opening video package have told me. Like, I haven't been on Wikipedia and double checked. I remember some things about this show. Big Show's finally decided to punch the man for the first time. I know who wins this match because I remember things about the WrestleMania. So I know who wins a lot of the matches just because I know what comes next. But this is more about the trip down memory lane. It's weird because, like, you think of, I don't think of this as, like, particularly a different era in WWE. Like, when we go back and watch, like, Attitude Era stuff or stuff from, like, the Ruthless Aggression, it's very clearly a different era. This feels like a continuation of the same era we're in now. But, so far, the only person on this... I don't know about the referee, actually. Scott Armstrong, I don't know if he's still around. I don't think so. But the only person, like, I'm expecting to see on Elimination Chamber 2023 so far is Michael Cole. So far, in terms of, like, commentators, maybe the Spanish announce team hasn't changed, or I think one of them's still around. Didn't Hugo Savinovich, was he, in fact, he wasn't even on the team, was he? It was Marcelo Rodriguez and Carlos Cabrera. So maybe the Spanish announce team. So I was going to say, didn't Hugo get bumped or either for saying something against WWE or he said something against WWE after he got bumped? I can't remember which way around it was. But, like, yeah, there's very few. Like, neither of the wrestlers, the manager. JBL's done his thing with Baron Corbin now, so probably not going to be on the show. King, obviously not going to be on the show at the moment in his current health predicament. And not that the referees, like, count as such in terms of, like... I mean, that's harsh. They do count in terms of part of the performance, but you know what I mean? It's... People aren't buying a pay-per-view to watch a referee, so really we're talking mostly about the wrestlers. But even the referee, I think, is out of WWE now. Maybe we should do, like, a count. People on this show that might be on, like, this weekend's show coming up. Because I think it's going to be quite a short list. Big Show's in AEW. Alberto Del Rio's in Disgrace. Ricardo Rodriguez is in Twitter, I think, mostly these days. Oh! Yeet! Oh, wait, didn't they edit that? I remember that. Didn't he botch that spot and miss it completely? Did they just edit it out? I did look away from the screen. But I think the network version edited it out. The revisionist history of WWE, they can't handle that a mistake was made. I don't know, was I just looking away? I want to rewind it, but it'll mess up you guys watching in sync with me. Can we finish this match now? As much as it's not been as bad as I thought, it's gone longer than it needed to. Tap out, Big Show. I just want the match to be over. Get onto the good stuff on the card. There he goes. Thank you. Quite a few people wearing the Dolph Ziggler stealing the show shirt. I wonder what... I used to have the hoodie of that. It was a zip-up blue hoodie, and on the left, like, breast pocket area, if you like, it had the Stealing the Show logo in little. Then on the back, in big letters, it had the "And Your Girlfriend." And I don't know what happened to that hoodie, but I loved that hoodie. I mean, I just don't have it now. Maybe Mrs. Abaza threw it out, being like, "You're not stealing people's girlfriends." Okay, that's quite enough, Alberto Del Rio, for today. Get him off my screen, please. No, I don't have to give Del Rio credit. Yeah, so that bucket bounce off the head spot was Big Show awkwardly holding it next to his head. Someone's got a sign that says, "I love the people's strudel." That's pretty funny. So yeah, and Del Rio did like a rope run enziguri, but I'm pretty sure the first time he just misses the springboard. And just botches it, and Big Show just stands there for a really awkward amount of time holding the bucket. I feel like this is the cross-arm breaker where Big Show was closest to the ropes out of the few that he was locked in. But this one he didn't reach the ropes. Weird positioning. I'm pretty sure Big Show's tapped out plenty of times, right? So yeah, I knew that was the result because I remember the WrestleMania World Championship match, unfortunately. I'm sure in the next month or so, depending on when when that year's WrestleMania fell. Oh, I have that Daniel Bryan No shirt as well. I have the merch. Like I say, let me know what merch you've got in the comments. I'm always interested to know what merch people have. What was I saying? Yeah, we'll be doing a watch along of WrestleMania 29, which will be great fun because just everyone knows when you talk about standout top draw. Hey, I stayed in that Marriott when I went to WrestleMania 30. But yeah, oh, you still got Antonio, but yet another person we won't be seeing this weekend on Elimination Chamber. US champion Antonio Cesaro. What a waste of talent this was. And I know Vince didn't think he was like over, but he was. He was over big when I went to WrestleMania 30, for example. I just Oh, he was already doing the We the People thing. I've just realised. You know, because he's got the American flag, not the Swiss flag. Weird having a foreigner play a heel gimmick by carrying a US flag. Such a strange time. I get what they were going for. Wait, have we got Face Miz as well? So we're starting the show off with Face Del Rio and Face Miz. But yeah, what a waste of talent Cesaro was to never get a world title win in WWE. Hey, look, it's Cody Rhodes. There's someone we might see. Kick him in the face. Miz, I'll tell you what. If Cody Rhodes does win the Uru Championship this year at WrestleMania, I would not mind since this whole flashback is taking place during a Miz Cody Rhodes match. That would not be a bad first feud. I feel like you could have some fun on the microphone with Cody Rhodes and the Miz, and then the match would be good. Like Miz is really underrated as a in-ring guy these days. So we already know the story of this match. It's a weird one, Miz having to be injured, because I would argue 100% versus 100%, you would still put Miz as the underdog here. Cesaro is clearly a lot stronger than the Miz. Like, you can just do the underdog story without the injury, but I suppose they just really want us to cheer for Alberto Del Rio and the Miz, right? This is Bizarro World 2013 WWE. The two most natural heels on the roster. For different reasons. Miz because he's a great heel. Del Rio because he's just detestable. Like, for real. But they're both baby faces in the opening 2 matches. But yeah, Miz is definitely a... Oh, look at this. Nice touch by Cesaro, hooking the arm and then dropping the shoulder breaker. Nice. Cesaro's awesome. Yeah, Miz is a potential show at Elimination Chamber. I don't recall what the card is, but... So I'm not sure if... I don't think Miz has a match. But he's still employed by WWE, so we'll add him to the list, because so far in 2 matches, of everyone we've seen, including a manager, 2 referees, and the commentary team, we have 2 people. Two people who might actually... Who survived the 10 years from Elimination... That's the best way to describe it, isn't it? Who survived the 10 years from Elimination Chamber 2013 to Elimination Chamber 2023? That's what we're really talking about with this little list. They have to have appeared on Elimination Chamber 2013 and have to still be employed by WWE. Is Charles Robinson... Like, I'm not going to count backstage roles. Like, both referees could be employed backstage for all I know. I have no idea. I don't know stuff about the backstage as much as I used to. I don't follow the dirt sheets as closely as I used to. And to be honest, I feel like I'm a happier wrestling fan for it. I do recommend it. If you find yourself not enjoying a lot of wrestling, and you also find yourself reading a lot of dirt sheets / rumors on Twitter / even watching WWE wrestling content on YouTube, which I do a bit of. I love a bit of Cultaholic and stuff like that. But like they're like a nice mix and reasonably positive about it. There's a lot of people just moan about wrestling on YouTube. But if you find yourself like ingesting a lot of that content and not really enjoying your wrestling, I recommend dropping the extra content and just mainly focusing on the wrestling. Especially at the moment. WWE is in like a really good place at the moment. And AEW isn't in its personal strongest place, but I still think it's got a lot of enjoyable facets to its product. New Japan, again, isn't at its peak, but has enjoyable matches and stuff going on. So, I would say just follow the wrestling. Impact, I don't really follow Impact, but from people that watch Impact, I hear it's about as good as it's ever been these days. I should really get more into watching some Impact. Let me know in the comments what wrestling you currently watch. My wrestling consumption is basically a few New Japan shows a year, and pretty much every AEW pay-per-view and WWE Premium Live event. And that's pretty much it. I don't watch a lot of weekly wrestling. It's a time constraint, because it's on at an awkward time. I have to watch it the next day or deprive myself of sleep. So yeah, it's more of a time constraint than I'm not enjoying it, but what I tend to do is just like read up on the results. And to be honest, I find, especially with WWE's promo packages, but AEW does a competent job as well. By no means a bad job. You can just watch the pay-per-views or premium live events and get the story from that, really. Although I have been watching a lot of the Bloodline stuff on YouTube when WWE's official account upload it. Like a lot of the segments with Sami Zayn and the Bloodline. I've been watching a lot of that. Your Swiss bicuspids. Okay, thanks JBL. Boot in the mush. How can you go from so eloquent to boot in the mush? I love it. I do actually quite like JBL on commentary. for as problematic as JBL apparently is backstage and yada yada yada, I get it. But I've never hated his commentary. I think there's a certain appeal to it. I think I like JBL's commentary in the way most people like Booker T's. It's sort of semi-ironic. Because I don't believe anyone unironically likes Booker T's commentary. That's not what a broken arm is, King. Just saying. He might break his arm, pull it right out the shoulder socket. That's a dislocation, my dude. Like, if the damage is done at the joint, if the joint is disconnected, it's a dislocation. A break is like where the bone between joints breaks. Like the actual arm bone or leg bone or a rib or something. Like an actual solid bone becomes not solid. Why would you throw yourself at Cesaro? 100% he's going to catch you. Ah. I don't think you guys can hear the... Maybe you can. Wait. Yeah, you can. Sorry, I was pausing for a second to watch you know, like the visual representation of how much noise your microphone's picking up on OBS. I was letting that go away. And then, you know, so I could do and judge whether it was new noise or just residual. So yeah. But yeah, Cesaro doing the Peter Griffin spot there. There we go, yep. I feel like you could put that shot of Cesaro and then put the Peter Griffin noise on it and it'd work. I might do it. Shall I do it for like TikTok or something? Let me make a note so I don't forget. TikTok, Cesaro, leg cell, X, Peter Griffin. I'll remember that. And how far into the video is it? Into the oh, hello? I think I've just missed the finish of the match. What is this janky finish? He kicked the leg out of his leg? Is it? An accidental low blow has never been a disqualification. He didn't even hit him in the balls. He hit him in the inside of the leg. That's... okay, I'm actually going to give credit there. That's a creative finish. Miz is like, you want a low blow? There's a low blow. I appreciate that from the Miz. And that's quite true to the Miz's character, I would say. Heel Miz, the likable Miz. I relate to that reaction. So when I was in school, I remember playing football in PE. And my, you know, a friend of mine on the other team got the ball. Football being soccer, by the way, for anyone watching from somewhere that doesn't know what football is. And my friend was like, it was like a corner, and the other team cleared the ball, and my friend was dribbling and the ball towards our goal, and there was basically no defense because they were all up for the corner because we were school kids and didn't know how to hold positions and stuff. So I went sprinting back. I caught up with my friend, and I slid in, hooked my leg around, and kicked the ball away, and then he fell over my foot. And the referee gave a foul. The teacher who was refereeing gave a foul. Oh my god, it's Team Hell No. Okay, I'll tell this story in a second.
I have a feeling that's not what's going to happen. Foreshadowing. But rubbish punchline to the whole segment. Anyway, yeah, so I slid in, I got the ball and kicked it out for like a throw in, and then my friend fell over my leg, and the referee gave a free kick. I don't know why I didn't get sent off if he thought it was a foul, but anyway, so the next time, and by the way, I do precursor this by saying this was my friend who I tackled, right? Next time he had the ball, I ran over, picked him up, and like rugby tackle dumped him, and then turned and looked at the teacher and went, "That's a foul," and then just walked off because I knew I'd been sent off for it. Like, I didn't even wait for the red card. But yeah, just so I relate to the Miz's reaction there. Oh, you think that was a low blow, do you? Bang! That's a low blow, my dude. By the way, Kane and Daniel Bryan, not in WWE, so not being added, even though it was only a segment. I'll add people from segments. Like, I feel like this is going to be a low number. So I'm not going to add video packages because I can't bother trying to keep up with the quick editing. Like, that's one thing I'm not going to include. I assume most of the video packages are about people on the show anyway. Although, Great Khali, I don't think, is on the show. But he's also not in WWE right now, so it doesn't matter. So it's chamber match time, right? Like, yeah, even if we're watching, if we're not including backstage roles, even, like, there's Ziggler and Kofi. Triple H is a backstage role, he wouldn't count. Sheamus is about. Orton, I suppose, technically is still about. There are rumours abound of Orton coming back after a long time out with injury. There were a lot of rumours that he just wasn't going to come back from this injury because it was more severe than they thought and stuff, but Edge is about. Ray is about. So, yeah, there are a few I could add based on video packages, but like I say, they're not necessarily showing current stars in the video packages, like current at that time. They do tend to a lot more, but some are unavoidable, I guess. Was Edge already retired at this point, actually? What year did Edge retire? I feel, yeah, he was already retired, because he wasn't at WrestleMania 30, and his last match was Del Rio, which wasn't at 29. Because I know what the match is at WrestleMania 29. I remember that. So yeah, he must have already been retired. So that's my justification for not using video packages, is I don't know these people are still with WWE now anyway, like in 2013. Edge wasn't, for example. Approximately every 4 minutes. Basically, we'll make up the timing to suit the match. Wonder why they picked 4 minutes. 4's like one of my least favourite numbers. Of the small numbers, obviously, you know, really random high numbers are pretty weird sometimes, but actually, I probably prefer all of them to 4, though. Like, 4's just I don't like it.
Do you guys have any numbers you don't like? Weird little things like that, or is that just a me thing? So, Jack Swagger, not currently with WWE. Is he? Oh, there we go. How did she know? They must be pre-warned in advance of managers with manager licenses and stuff. General Manager Booker T. I don't remember that. Thankfully. I'm not a fan of Booker T on commentary. I can't imagine I would have enjoyed him as general manager. Oh, we're getting a Jack Swagger promo. Can't wait. I do like this twist on the real American gimmick. New Orleans. We'll set make things right. Okay, Scott Hall. Hasn't caught on yet. Oh, Jack. So yeah, I really like that gimmick because the tradition. Oh, I might have just made quite the noise banging my earphones off the pop filter. Yeah, the traditional sort of wrestling trope is, the American hero, the Hulk Hogan, being, the all-conquering good guy. So to have like the patriotic American on the heel side, because it basically switches over into racism and xenophobia. I thought was a really good take on it. Like, I know they did a heel take on it with Kurt Angle as the American hero that sort of demanded the respect and it backfired on him. But this was like a whole new way of doing it. And I really liked it as a gimmick because I thought it was really clever to flip it on its head. You know, flip that trope on its head. Yeah, I like the We the People gimmick. I feel like it was a weird one that WWE booked it as a heel gimmick, considering the sort of the political affiliations of, like, you know, the Vince McMahons and what have you. But it was, I thought it was smart. Anyway, Kane not still a member of WWE's roster. Mark Henry in AEW, so not a member of WWE's roster. So I'm not adding anyone to my list at the moment of people that have survived the 10 years. Like, 10 years is a long time. But similarly, it doesn't feel like it's that long ago, and yet there's barely any holdover in terms of the roster. I mean, 2 out of the 3 members of the Shield are still there, so we'll be counting them later. But each match so far, at least half of the participants have not been still there. I assume they've made them big enough for pro wrestlers, Michael Cole. I'm curious how he's going to fit in one of those pods. I mean, it's a wrestling structure. Surely when you, like, even within kayfabe, surely when they're creating the concept, they're like, how big can a human be? We'll make it that big. Like, we've never had a human, you know, above 9 foot tall, so let's make the pods 9 foot tall. And we've never known a human be 9 foot wide, so let's just make it a big 9 foot cube. I mean, I know it's obviously not. I know it's obviously taller than it is wide. But it's like, they've clearly gone and made it big enough for any human in human history to fit in. Like, you would think they've made it wide enough for Yokozuna to fit in, and tall enough for Great Khali, who was probably the tallest person in WWE up to that point. Or Giant Gonzalez. Like, hey, Randy Orton, I can add him to the list. He is still employed. He's not been active for a while recently, but he is still around. So unless he announces his retirement before the premium live event, this coming weekend, we can count Randy Orton amongst the still about guys. WWE app. It's weird. It's simultaneously quite a great lineup and also a sort of underwhelming one. It depends on when you're, like, Randy Orton is undeniably like a legend of the business at this point. Like, I'm not including him, but it depends on what era of wrestling you're into. Like, if you're an Attitude Era guy, like, and then early Ruthless Aggression era, Kane is like a huge deal being in this. And you probably don't care much for Mark Henry and Jack Swagger. But if you're like super from this era, then Mark Henry was a big deal and Kane had obviously fallen from grace a long way. So it's sort of like the opposite. And Jack Swagger, I think most people remember Jack Swagger for his awful world title run, like during his original first push where he won Money in the Bank. And the wasted potential of this run as well, the We the People run. Hey, Daniel Bryan, let's not add him to the list. He's with AEW as Bryan Danielson. What a weird gimmick name. The tag titles were so important, the champions didn't even bring the titles to the ring whilst competing to be in a singles title match at WrestleMania Because who wants to be in a tag title match, right? Who cares about the tag titles, right, Vince? Like, I've always sort of hated stuff like that. Like you could easily just make the tag titles matter by having tag teams not enter Royal Rumbles, Elimination Chambers, not try and get singles opportunities, because it's sort of like saying, yeah, I'm in a tag team, but I'd rather succeed on my own because that's more prestigious. It's just putting the tag titles down, in my opinion. Like, all they had to do was not have the tag titles on Team Hell No here. Split them up before this, or, you know, put someone else in it. I don't know who, but put Team Hell No in the Shield match and put, like, two of the thrown together people in the World Title Chamber. Like, I don't know. Jericho, by the way, also in AEW. I was going to say not one. No, exactly one. Randy Orton of these competitors is still in WWE today. I love that. No man in WWE. In fact, no one in the world has stepped inside Elimination Chamber more than Chris Jericho. As if you have many opportunities to fight inside an Elimination Chamber if you're not in WWE. Oh, but yeah, it's interesting. There's 4 AEW employees or independent contractors in this match, and 1 WWE guy in terms of present day affiliation. Mark Henry, Chris Jericho, Bryan Danielson, and Jake Hager are in this match. But only Randy Orton is a WWE guy, and then Kane is obviously busy being a... I was going to say something then. Being a Tory. Let's just say being a Tory. I was going to say something stronger than Tory, but I'm not sure what YouTube's policies are on saying certain words to do with old political movements that may or may not have led to world wars. So, yeah, he's busy being a Tory. Let's just say that. So we're starting off with Jericho and Bryan. Not a bad choice, if you ask me. In fact, a good choice, if you ask me. Jericho a face, or are they just cheering for him because, you know, he's Chris Jericho and people love Chris Jericho? Sounds good to me. Jericho and Bryan, one-on-one for 4 minutes. Yeah, just do this for 4 minutes. Why not? Ask him! I do think little details like that. Like, I am not the world's biggest Chris Jericho fan. And that's not me saying I'm not a fan. That's just, there are some people that really do think he's the greatest of all time. And I don't think he's that. I think he's really good. But, I love little nuances like that. Like, putting someone in a headlock, then telling the referee, ask him! Like he's ever won. Like he's ever won a wrestling match with a headlock. You know, I love it. It's just good detail, isn't it? If Jericho taps out, he would be eliminated. This rule, of course, unique to Chris Jericho, so thanks for explaining that, Michael Cole. That submitting in a wrestling match is bad. Did you know? Randy Orton being like, watching all this flip-flopping, disapproving. The goat gloat. See, we've just watched Miz kick Cesaro right in the balls. I would open an Elimination Chamber with that. As it's no disqualification, I would just... If I had to start an Elimination Chamber, the first thing I would do would be kick my opponent square in the nuts. Square in the nuts. Yeah, I feel like that's an easy upper hand for the 4 minutes, right? Keep yourself fresh. And if they start to recover, kick them in the nuts again. This is the old style Elimination Chamber, by the way, before they safetied it up. Still got metal grate on the floor on the outside. Must have been grim. When you, like, imagine when the agent's like, yeah, you're going to take the bump on the outside on the grate. You'd have been like, oh, what did I do to deserve this? Because a big complaint I remember a lot of the wrestlers had was like, it didn't feel like the chamber was built by anyone who had any idea what wrestling was. Like, it didn't have any give, like a lot of the structures do, you know, so that you can, like, when you hit the wall, you think, oh, it's only chain link, it'll have a bit of give, but it's really pulled tight. And, like, the grates on the outside, no give whatsoever. Whereas you've seen it when someone gets slammed into Hell in a Cell or the cage. Like, the entire wall of it moves, like, so that there's a bit of give. It's designed to have a wrestling match in it. The Elimination Chamber wasn't. The Elimination Chamber was designed to have a wrestling video game match in it where no one actually suffers any real pain. Souple. Yeah, I can do play-by-play. So who's coming in? Jack Swagger. And goes after Jericho. That's kind of fun, considering they're now, like, very closely and permanently aligned in AEW. I don't know what that was supposed to be. That looked like it would have hurt Swagger more. That was like his midsection hitting Jericho's shoulder. Like, that's called a shoulder tackle, right? Or a spear. By Jericho, I mean. What was that voice? Could you guys hear that voice in the background then? Unless someone's in my house. I don't think so. Oh, I've just knocked my microphone. Sorry about that if that made a noise. Just check the positioning. Yeah, like that. Do you see how, like, there's a bit of... It's a bit of wobble, but it's like... inches at most it moves. Whereas when you see them slam each other into, like, the cage wall, it moves a good foot. There's so much give in it compared to the chamber. Or there's so little give in a chamber compared with every other structure. The only other one I can think of that's, like, seems quite unforgiving was the Punjabi prison, because that's made of bamboo, but even that, I think, probably had more give than a chamber. Especially, look at those metal grates. That's designed to be solid, as opposed to designed to have a bit of give, to be a bit nice to the people being slammed on it. I understand why they babied up the Elimination Chamber. Like, I just don't understand why it was ever designed to be so unforgiving in the first place. Like, they call Hell in a Cell unforgiving, and it's not. You know, like, you don't have to make it unforgiving to call it unforgiving. But they made it, like, shoot unforgiving. Oh my god, that looks so clumsy. Just running across the ring looked really clumsy then. That was weird. Why are we talking about Triple H, Michael Cole? He's not in this match. Oh, is it relevant to Orton? Or Jericho? I assume Orton. I assume Orton's won a couple at this point. Yeah, in terms of previous accolades, Daniel Bryan's a former world champion at this point. Jericho obviously is. Kane's a former world champion. Mark Henry's a former world champion. Is this all former world champions? I think it is, you know. Jack Swagger had that amazing run in, like, 2010. Orton obviously is a former champion. Have I missed anyone? I think everyone's a former world champion in this match. Which is something I didn't realise. I wonder if they used that. I wonder if they mentioned that in, like, the build, or if that was part of the reason or anything like that. Oh. It was a very low flying suplex. Alright, Kane. Eyes on the booty. Ooh. Oh, and then no sweet. I missed the days when people didn't do that. Oh, we're having another one. Jack Swagger's just having a lovely rest over there. Which, by the way, would be my strategy. After kicking them in the nuts, when the third person comes in, you need to direct them towards each other subtly so they don't cotton on, because then they'll both turn on you. And then you need to go and, like, lie down in a corner somewhere. And when the fourth comes in, you probably need to either go after one of the starting people, like the person you started against, who's been fighting while you've been resting, or you need to kick the new guy square in the nuts. This is Elimination Chamber lessons with Ibeza. Like strategy lessons. Ironically, against the two men who are a team in AEW now. ...2013 team against 2023 team. You've just been deported. Oh, Daniel Bryan, you silly goose. You silly goose. What are you doing? Who would do that? Here we go. I can't remember what these two did at WrestleMania. Did they defend the tag titles? Had they broken up by then and they fought each other? I really don't recall. I'm not going to look it up because I'll find out when we do the watch along of Mania 29. Probably on the pre-show defending the tag titles because, you know, they're so important. Got him by the beard, yeah. The well-known beard slam finisher of Kane. Vintage. Michael Cole loved using that word for pretty much everyone who'd done a move for more than 3 weeks at that point. They're just having a chill, is what Michael Cole's saying. They're just lying down. Yeah, instead of having them pointlessly sell for like 25 years, like, sell it as them playing possum, as them using it strategically. Yeah, hard to disagree with the commentators there. Yep, smart. Actually booking someone as knowing how to wrestle a match strategically. Weird, right? That'd be my gimmick if I was a wrestler. I would wrestle correctly. Like, logically and correctly. If I had a tag partner in a match, like, that's every man for himself, I would not turn on them because that's stupid. Especially when it's an elimination match, like a Royal Rumble or an Elimination Chamber. Like, why wouldn't we want to be the final two? It's just stupid to do it otherwise. And of course, my partner would feel the same because I would only ever tag partner up with someone else who was very logical about this stuff. So it's Orton or Henry. Orton? Yep. Open up. You'd think they'd be ready. Like, the order is rigged. The referee's not told in advance who's next. Because as much as they want us to think it's random, it's rigged. Like, it's all rigged. They know who's going to win the match in advance, guys. I don't know if that'll blow people's minds, but yeah, they already know who's going to win this match. Wild, right? So why are the referees so incompetent at letting them out the pods? I haven't been paying close attention to the referees. I'm going to say referees don't count, purely because I don't know all the referees from then and now, for that matter. Some of them, you know, the Little Natures and what have you, are a bit more famous. So, but I still don't know if Little Nature's employed at WWE at the moment. No idea. So we're going to say referees don't count just because I don't know. Ditto Spanish commentators. English commentators, because they're the ones I listen to, I do know. But the Spanish ones, I don't remember who it is currently. I know Funaki is a Japanese commentator. And Ray Rougeau's a French one. This is going to hurt you so much, Orton. Yeah. Voluntary back bump on that. Can you cover outside? Most chambers I've watched, you've had to be inside the ring to do the pin. And now that we're focused on that king, Orton has not checked his back once. So, good job pointing that out. Oh, there we go. Now he does. Yeah, Jericho's got the screen to time it. Orton's got nothing. Nope. Nope. You could clearly see they didn't, King. Why did you even ask that? Just break out, Mark Henry. You're the world's strongest man. Just kick it through or something. Like, there's no DQ. You could just enter the match whenever you want. March to WrestleMania, but it's only February. Yeah, just start the countdown. Nothing is happening, WWE. This is boring. There we go. Someone finally got the memo. They don't care about integrity of, like, timings and stuff. The Royal Rumble's, like, proof of that. Should have just started it. It just sort of belly splashes everyone. Oh, except Jericho, who gets a lovely headbutt. World's Strongest Slam. Poor Daniel Bryan, eliminated first. Rude, that. In a year and about a month and a little bit, that man wins 2 matches and beats all 3 active members of Evolution in one night. Bye, Felicia. Love how there's just a cameraman there, just getting in Henry's face. Hit him, Henry, hit him. Now we've got Henry and Kate. Imagine if Mark Henry, 2013 Mark Henry, well, 2012 Mark Henry was probably his peak. And, like, I don't know what peak Kane is. Some people would say, like, 98. 97, 98. Some people would say it was like the 2001 Kane. Some people would say it was the... When was it when Unmasked Kane beat Undertaker 3 times in a row? Was that like 2010? But whichever is like your peak Kane, imagine that Kane instead of this one against Mark Henry. This Mark Henry. That would be fun. Catching Kane. That's an interesting definition of catch, considering he was on the floor. Well, there's your tag team division. There's your tag team champions, guys. Wiped out by one man. Begins to pray. Dear God, please allow me to win the Elimination Chamber. I would like very much to win the Elimination Chamber. Why do I feel... Right, so I feel like maybe Henry takes out Jericho. Maybe. But then RKO, boom, Henry gone. And then Swagger beats Orton. That's... See, this is smart. He's already eliminated 2 people. Let's take him out. Yeah, Jericho and Swagger? What sort of team is that? Oh, my goodness. Fair play to Mark Henry to agree into that spot. Because surely it hurts more the heavier you are. You just hit that little bit harder, right? On that landing. I don't know, maybe because he's so padded, maybe he's actually the best person to take it. And that's not me being disrespectful. Mark Henry's just a big boy. Like, I know a lot of it is muscle, but there's a good mix of muscle and fat going on, like, for him to pad, I guess. Oh, and then Jericho decides, let's not eliminate Mark Henry before we turn on each other. No, that would be clever. By the way, sorry for spoiling the result of the match for anyone who doesn't know. I know who wins, though. I'm just trying to remember and figure out how it goes down. Well, not remember, because I don't remember. But I'm just trying to... I remember the winner of this match based on the next match, not based on the fact that I remember the match. But to me, the logical way to go would be Jericho out next, then RKO eliminates Henry, and then, yeah. Whether it's Henry that eliminates Jericho, whether it's Swagger, or even Orton. No, that eliminates Jericho. I don't know if I said that right. Whether it's Swagger, Henry, or Orton that eliminates Jericho, I think he's the next to go, in my opinion. That's how I would book it, I think, at this point. Knowing the required winner. I honestly didn't mind Swagger winning this at the time. I remember being like, okay, this is interesting. This is building a new star. But, I would book Swagger not to get... Was it a DUI you got busted on, like, the next day or something? Or within the next week? I'd book him not to do that. That feels like a booking error. Kablamo! See, you should have eliminated him before turning on each other. Yeah, silly geese. Slash gooses. Orton's just chilling. He's having the easiest match of his life. To bounce the massive body. Oh, heck. Excuse me. Swing and a miss. Oh, here comes the RKO, I think. They're going Henry next. Fair enough. That's a good way to go as well. Wasn't really an exclamation point. It was necessary. It was, like, the exclamation point implies, the sentence was enough, but we've added an exclamation point for emphasis. No, Mark Henry was still on his feet at the point of the RKO. That's not. Yeah. I love how Jack Swagger went to Big Boot because, hell, if he's gut wrench powerbombing Mark Henry. Was that still his finisher at this point, or was he only using the ankle lock? I remember he used to use the gut wrench powerbomb in his first, like, big run before he went away from it and came back on this run. Like 6 months off or whatever. Is Mark ever going to do something, or are we watching him leave for no reason? Is he going to go back in? No, I thought he was going to go back in and, like, whoop everyone. Oh, yeah, the referee's closing it real slowly. Yep. Could you have closed that any slower, ref? Like, good grief. So, what this means, though, is we're going to have another bit of, like, nothing, aren't we? Where all three are going to be selling the world's strongest slams. Start slamming refs now, Henry. But yeah, we're just going to have another bit like when Henry was wanting to get out of his pod. Imagine making Booker T the general manager when you've got Teddy Long right there and being like, yeah, you're the assistant. No, just do Teddy Long part 2. Like, slam Booker. Look at Booker with his angry eyes. Get him out of here, he says about the person already leaving. The integrity of this matchup. It may have already been affected. Here's the problem. Nothing's happening in this professional wrestling match. Everyone is just lying down. So, not how I anticipated it going. I mean, technically, I was right. Like, Orton eliminated Henry with an RKO, but not in the order I anticipated, or the manner in which I anticipated. Yeah, you want to punch both of us, do you? Yeah, let us both punch you. Yeah, I think it might have actually. Yeah. Yeah, he's not wrong, is he? They should finish off Swagger before fighting it off. Battling against each other. Oh, very smooth, Jericho. Nope. Right in the kisser. You kiss people with your chest, do you, Michael Cole? Jericho's so out, he's watching the referees count. When did that start being a thing? Because I know at some point I started noticing it being a thing. But when did it start being a thing where the wrestlers would watch the referees count? So obviously. Or did I just start noticing at some point and it's always been a thing? Oh, I'm sorry, I just caught the microphone again. Yeah, I feel like the referee hit them out a third time there. Oh. Someone's been watching Bailey tape from in the future. When was Bailey Sasha? Was that like 2015? Like the original Bailey Sasha match? Wasn't long after this, was it? Oh, he's going for the ankle / Patriot lock on the wrong arm, and just like Kurt Angle, he's twisting in the wrong way. Like, you shouldn't be twisting that way. Why would you break it up? Why is all of this happening? It always annoyed me that, because Angle used to do it as well. When you go for the right leg, you should... So if the whole point of the ankle lock is the twist is the pain, when you go on the other leg, you should twist the other way to make the symmetrical pain. But they always twist the same way, so it becomes a different lock on the right leg. Which, if that's that effective, why don't they do that on the left leg? Like, surely there is a best way to twist. Why would you break it up? It's so dumb. These are multiple-time world champions, Jericho and Orton, doing dumb things because the booking requires it. Stupid. Oh. And dumped. Again, why would Swagger even try and interrupt that? In an every man for himself match, why would you ever interrupt one of the men being hurt by a move? It makes no sense. Every time someone gets hurt, it is to your advantage because you have to win over all of them. Is Fred Durst having a good time in the foreground there, in the crowd? He told the world, is he Dolph Ziggler? Nope. Nope. That was a nice little sequence. Is he going to win with a roll-up? He did! That's amazing. That was actually a great finish. Like, the Orton and Jericho stuff and then the roll-up being immediate. That was... Yeah, that was really good, actually. Big fan of that finish. That was really well executed as well. The Jericho Orton stuff was nice and fluid and what have you and looked good. And then, yeah. The roll-up was perfectly timed. I'm not sure if Orton kicked out at any point, technically, but, you know, whatever. I will say something about my little list of people that are still about. Not a single current WWE superstar has won a match on this show. Orton eliminated 2 people in that match, though, so, you know, like, little wins, little victories. Like, yeah, this sequence was really nice. The RKO into the Lion Soul, knees up into the RKO. And then, wha-bam! There he is. Yeah, he's Shoulder came up a couple of times there, I think. I mean, that's a bit dramatic. He's won Elimination Chamber match. It's like, Jack Swagger's America is upon us. I didn't realize this Elimination Chamber was to become, like, President of America. No, you know what? That's not strong enough. You can get voted out in 4 years. King of America. The Elimination Chamber for Kingship of America. All-star team featuring Ryback. I can put some names on my currently employed list. That'll be fun. Dean Ambrose. I'm not gonna put it on until they actually come out into the arena, just because then I've got like an order, which is just my OCD. In fact, yeah, the Shield took on Ryback and Team Hell No in their first match, right? So yeah, this could easily, what I was saying before about not having a tag team in a Elimination Chamber for a singles opportunity. This could easily just have had Team Hell No in this match and had. You could have stuck with Ryback and Team Hell No, or you could have had like Cena and Team Hell No and had Sheamus and Ryback in the chamber, or any combination would have worked, really. Roman Reigns has changed so much. There's 3 random dudes. That turned out really nicely, didn't it? With tags. An all-out war. With tags. We're not animals. Alright, so. Cena. I would say not currently employed by WWE. Like, affiliated with them? Yeah. Likely to come back at some point in the very near future again, and been back recently? Yep. But employed by them? I wouldn't say so. Is he under contract? I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you would put John Cena on my little list of people that have made it to Elimination Chamber 2023. Still employed by WWE. I'm not going to put Cena on. I'm going to put, you know what? No, I am going to put him on, but I'm going to put him on in brackets, so he's not part of the main list. But he has a spot, I would say. Marry my wife, John Cena, that sign just said. That's illegal. I'm not going to kink shame the, you know, some people are into that sort of stuff, aren't they? You know, being a cook and what have you, but, like, it's illegal. It's bigamy. You'd have to divorce her. She wouldn't be your wife if John Cena married her. Yeah, silly goose. I wonder what John Cena thought that taunt of blowing on his smaller knuckles. Like, it's not the main knuckles that you punch people with. It's like the little ones just above your nails. Blows on them. Is he drying his fingernail polish? Why did I struggle for the term nail polish so much? Okay, Sheamus is still about. It's a shameful thing. Shame for shame. Shame to shame is shameful thing to shame. He loves to fight. That's Finlay, Michael Cole, you racist. That's a different Irishman. Which Sheamus theme do you prefer? You got one more. Have you? Oh my god, Cena, I didn't know. Cena was such a dark in this era. Like, as much as I am now a John Cena fan, I stand by the fact that I used to hate him in this era. He was very unlikable in this era, I think. We don't have to put Ryback on the list, thankfully. I don't think there's anyone in this match with bigger issues than this man. Never mind with the Shield. Ryback is an interesting person, shall we say, these days. A lot of beef in that ring. A lot of beef. A lot of beef. Never mind the beef with the Shield. There's just a lot of beef. Like, who's going to appear first, Seth or Roman? Because they're both still employed. This is the best ratio of any match so far, considering Cena counts as like a half. So we've got like 3.5 out of 6. It's just over half. Who's going to rock up first? Watch them come through exactly together. Oh, I see Seth. I don't think I see Roman. Yep, so Seth's going on the list first. Where is... he gets his own entrance because they were already planning on him being the big star. Okay, so far the list is Michael Cole, The Miz, Randy Orton, John Cena in brackets, Sheamus, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. Oh, hello, we're kicking off early. Nice. That's such a short list, though, considering how many people have been on this show. And the fact that I'm including, like, announcers and stuff. Maybe I should take Michael Cole off the list and not include announcers, but, eh. Oh. Ryback's like, I got the biggest one, I'll go last. Okay, Sheamus didn't get the memo about doing it in time, clearly. Obviously, Dean Ambrose not with WWE is in fact Jon Moxley now in AEW. Like, single-handedly carrying AEW, some people would say, for a couple of years. Not single-handedly, but main-handedly, I think is more fair. Thanks for the info, Michael Cole. I was trying to think what to do with that information, but I don't know what to do with it. Sorry, he's got a massive vest on. Just put I was gonna say, just put. You should have just put some stuff in the pockets. Like, what'd be good? What'd be good to put in your flat chest pockets to protect yourself from the beats of the Baldwin? I reckon like Haribo eggs from the Star Mix. They're squishy. Or the Love Hearts. They're better actually. Yeah, just fill it full of Haribo Love Hearts. Sheamus is having it. Like, he's absolutely having it at the moment. I mean, Roman Reigns doesn't seem interested in getting involved in the fight at all. Oh, wait, he's thinking about it now. Big boys. Big Roman Reigns. What? The difference in Roman Reigns now, like the way he carries himself now, is so wildly different. Even the way, like, he's been screaming in the face of Sami Zayn a bit in the current feud he's in. Even his screaming demeanor is different, if that makes sense. Wait, JBL's wrestled the Freebirds? Really? I wouldn't have thought there was a lot of crossover there, but fair enough. I'll take his word for it. You didn't know WWE had problems and injustices, King. Did you see the Austin McMahon feud? Did you see the Reign of Terror by Triple H? There was a lot, like, that's not me being anti-Reign of Terror or what have you. That's me saying a lot of storylines were built around unjust heels. The only thing is, the Shield coming in as heels tackling injustices when it does generally tend to be the heels that do the naughties, so they should be fighting the heels, right? Oh, there's a Claymore kick. That was definitely a Claymore kick. His other foot was off the floor. Drew McIntyre watching like, oh. Cena doing the thing that everyone loves him for so much. It's weird, like, the John Cena thing. Obviously, he never turned heel, like, in the traditional sense. But surely the fact that everyone knew everyone hated the 5 Moves of Doom, right? So, surely that was like, that was nice. That was like a troll. That was like a heel move at that point because you're doing something to actively make the crowd boo you. That's the definition of a heel, right? I don't know. I have a lot of questions about the whole was John Cena ever a heel thing because in a lot of ways he kind of just was. It was just a weird heel that the children liked. But a lot of his nuances were quite heelish. It was like the Cody Rhodes AEW heel, wasn't it? The heel that can't accept he's a heel, thinks he's a babyface. Obviously, before Cody Rhodes was that. And apparently Cody Rhodes was never that either. By the way, Roman Reigns versus John Cena happening right now on our screens. I hope it's happening on your screens. If you're just watching this YouTube video in silence, this must be a strange experience. Just watching a screen with just me talking about stuff I can see that you can't, and I can hear that you can't. You should definitely be watching along. Oh, who cares, ref? Job's worth. The Cena problem. If only the Shield would have got rid of the Cena problem, that would have... They'd be big stars now if they'd have gone through with that. I don't think they're beyond impressive. I think they're impressive. Unless very impressive counts as beyond impressive, in which case maybe. What do you mean teamwork? 2 of them just got punched in the face. That's not teamwork. That's not actively doing teamwork, is it? That's just John Cena attacking the wrong people because he's an idiot. Why is Ryback there? And why didn't Ryback do anything? Oh, because he's a good guy. Look at how shiny Roman Reigns is. Roman Reigns was already like the Vince guy at this point, right? It was like, oh yeah, oil yourself up. They look even scarier and hotter. Could have guns on Ambrose in those days. Because I feel like that's the main downside to Ambrose slash Moxley is he doesn't look that imposing. He looks like a crazy man that you wouldn't want to fight. Like, don't get me wrong. But, like, he doesn't look that imposing physically. But, bit of a bigger boy there. Why did Sheamus break that out? Have you ever seen John Cena get pinned by a move like that? He obviously had it. Calm down, Sheamus. You watched wrestling before. Or sports entertainment. What are they chanting? Oh, feed me more. They're chanting for Ryback. My goodness. Again, you remember earlier in the show where I was like, were you there? Did you cheer Alberto Del Rio? Be honest. Ditto Ryback. I mean, I kind of bought into the Ryback hype a little bit at the time, I think. Like, I can be honest and admit it. I thought Ryback was pretty fun. Well, it was pretty rubbish, but it was pretty fun. And I will tell you, one thing I really enjoyed about Ryback was, do you remember when he was the Intercontinental Champion and he turned heel and started just doing segments where he was just bullying people, like pushing into a line because he was more important because he was the IC champion? I thought that heel run of Ryback was actually quite entertaining. I quite enjoyed that version of Ryback, more than the Feed Me More Babyface version. Yeah, that era of Ryback was lots of fun. You know what's not lots of fun? Watching Roman Reigns hold John Cena in a rear chin lock for like literally like a minute or maybe more. I'm properly bored of this now. This is proper 80s wrestling. And hey, guess what? 80s wrestling, for the most part, don't get me wrong, there was good stuff, wasn't that good in terms of the wrestling. That was, speaking of not that good in terms of the wrestling, what in the hell was that belly to back suplex? That's JBL saying that was a bad belly to back suplex in like positive commentator code. What? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, he just like single hand Hadoukened him there. I thought it was a clothesline from the other angle, but no, he just like pushed him over. Like, no, sit down, push. I like that Ambrose vetoed up his vest, but did it when he was the illegal man in the match. He didn't faff about with it while he was in a fight. It's so I love how commentators are like they've somehow split the ring. I don't know how they've managed to get the numbers game. Like every heel in every tag match of any number ever hasn't done this. Like it's not like the formula for tag team matches in WWE. That was a nice DDT. That looked good. What was Sheamus for that breakup, eh? That was a way more severe looking move than the one Sheamus broke up before. Bye, Felicia. And then Cena just lies down. Oh, got cameraman. Cameraman's joining the good guy team. Tag in the cameraman, John. He'd be good right now. Tag him in. Why would Ambrose tag in Rollins? Reigns was so much closer. Just because it was Rollins' turn. It's stupid. Oh, does he? Well, I thought he was just breathing heavy. Or breatheth in heavy. Oh. I don't think I've ever seen a powerbomb look more like the recipient was doing all the work there than that one. Seth Rollins just climbed Ryback and then got powerbombed. Oh! Yeah, clumsy oaf. There we go. Go on, Roman. There we go. It's breaking down now. Oh, heck. Well, bye. Oh, well, that looked clumsy as all hell, but you know what? They got there. They got where they were going. Oh, Lillian almost got completely wiped out there. Hey, up. Getting that a hand on the thigh action there from Lillian. Look at her. Make it. This is not the time to be making your move, love. That was really close to taking out Lillian, all jokes aside. Jesus Christ. Can we, like, see a replay of that? Ambrose just resulted in Rollins getting dumped on the floor. That was, like, the really cool thing about the Shield was, like, yeah, they genuinely did just seem to have a numbers game in a fair 3-on-3 fight. It was really well coordinated, the Shield stuff. Oh! Why did Cena go after Reigns there? I mean, yeah, Cena looked dumb there. You could clearly see what had just happened and decided to dive on Reigns instead of dive over Reigns and break the pin. See if we get a good angle on that, on where we can see Cena. Probably not, because WWE is good at production. Cena, you silly goose. Cena wants an explanation. A guy off that team pinned the legal guy off your team while you basically watched it happen and decided to punch a different guy off that team instead. Right, here we go. Watch Lillian, never mind watch Roman Reigns. Oh, look how close she was to getting taken out there. Right, now let's try and watch Cena here. Here we go. Spear. Rollins lands on everyone. And then Cena just, like, did you see him? Watch. You can see the pin there. And he ducks down and starts fighting Reigns. All he had to do was run across and hit. Oh, but you know what? Maybe it being Cena's fault was actually kind of good booking there, because didn't this end up leading to Cena versus Ryback? After Mania. I feel like this Mania had Ryback versus Mark Henry. With the stupid finish, if I remember correctly. And then, after that Mania... Again, I don't want to spoil too much for anyone who doesn't know what's coming, but I feel like we get to Ryback versus Cena. So, okay. Actually, some good storytelling there. My bad. Still, makes Cena look dumb, though. Oh, right in the mush. I think I had the Stealing Your Show and Your Girlfriend's shirt as well, and I don't know where that is either. Swear, Mrs. Abeza, what have you done with my weirdly flirtatious, but also insulting t-shirts and merch? Okay? What have you done with it? Lillian was so close to getting taken out in that spot. I'm not even kidding. Yeah, she really did, King. Like, you ain't wrong. Like, oh my god. The uncanny ability of Lillian for getting the F out of dodge. Like, she was so close to getting wiped out and injured there. Like, I'm not even joking. Imagine how different the world would be if Reigns would have, like, injured Lillian Garcia there, because, like, he could have been in some serious trouble there with WWE. Oh, Ziggles. I can put him on the list. He's still about. Or back about. I think he might have had a brief hiatus in there somewhere, but that's all good. Still counts. Oh, do I count Big E? I think I count. I think I count Big E. Let's put him in brackets as well, because he's like long-term injured, maybe never coming back, unfortunately. Nope. Nope. That's a stretch. No offense. Is that a fine line? Kofi. My money's on Kofi. Kofi? Yep. Called it. And fun little thing with Kofi and Big E interacting. I hear them shouting. I love this Kofi Kingston music. It's so catchy. You ready? I just love this. It's a shame. Such a shame. I love it. Mine. Like, I love the New Day and the music and the presentation and the people and everything. But my god, the SOS music was just incredible, wasn't it? Kofi's had some bangers, let's be honest. Are they his only two themes? The SOS one and then the New Day theme? Because bangers. But honestly, as just a theme on its own, the SOS is probably... Whoa, that was nice. It was probably the better theme. I was going to say, yeah, Dolph Ziggler overselling the monkey flip will never get old, honestly. It's so good. What? Imagine having a Big E and being like, you know what I want you to do? Have no personality and just stand and look angry. at ringside. I'm so glad Big E got to show off what he's really like as part of the New Day, because, like, yeah, he looked physically imposing and scary, but oh my god, you know when they say the best version of a wrestler is themselves turned up to 11? Big E is possibly the poster child for that, because look at how boring Enforcer Big E was, and then look at how great New Day Big E was. The difference was astronomical. Obviously, Stone Cold Steve Austin is the poster child for that. But, like, honestly, you don't have, like, the negative side to compare with Steve Austin. It was just a bit, like, dull until he figured out how to turn it up to 11 as, like, the ringmaster. And even Stunning Steve Austin wasn't that interesting. I've not seen a lot of that stuff, but my perception is it wasn't that interesting to watch. Like, but Big E was, like, neutered so much and made, like, boring as hell, and then he was just let loose and became, like, just so good. Almost. And there it is. This is how you book your Money in the Bank briefcase holder. Oh, Biggie into the barricade. I think at least now that there's been like a should have won moment, at least I feel like Ziggler's gonna win. They don't half book the Money in the Bank briefcase holders weak historically though. With a thud. Yeah, I'm not surprised. He headbutted a barricade. No, he's probably just feeling the effects. Got him. I'm here to superplex. I'm here to... Oh, that was unique. I thought he was going to not get the superplex, but it turns out he wasn't even going for it. And a zigzag. Not a clean win, but a win. Can't complain too much, I guess. Look at it. He's trying his best not to be charismatic. Big E, look at him. Trying his best not to be interesting. So glad we got the real Big E. That was pretty brutal looking. Unique. Oh. Oh, we're getting some New Day action. Does he have the big ending yet? I feel like that was always his finisher, right? If you need anyone to sell for you, Kofi bouncing around like a basketball makes you look incredible. He didn't. He jumped on Ziggler and Big E got in the way. Has he got a finisher yet? Is he trying to figure out what his finisher is right now? Oh no, here we go. Yep, big ending. One more time chant. Love to see it or hear it. Impressive, yes. Interesting in this incarnation, no. There you go then. I sometimes wonder, like, what the motivation is for the, like, clearly physically superior. Like, you would fancy Big E in a fight against Dolph Ziggler. What's his incentive to still be like a lackey? What? Wow. Yeah, let's talk about the WWE app. That's what everyone tunes into a pay-per-view for, Michael Cole. Onto my iPhone, of all things. Wait, you only downloaded the app earlier today? Why is his thumb so dirty? Oh no, did I miss this because I didn't have the WWE app? Actually, we can count Cody Rhodes, right? The only one of those four. Oh, and I was gonna say and Naomi. Never mind. Nope, not Naomi. Cody Rhodes. Oh, Cody Rhodes losing on the pre-show in a tag match to Brodus Clay. Oh my god, what is this? That's current NWA World Champion Tyrus. Wow. Is this gonna turn into an orgy? Like, he just smacked his butt and then it was like, we got what you need. Oh, that was horrendously cringe. Oh, Tamina, she's still about. The list isn't as short as I thought it was going to be, to be honest. I thought I was making a good point, but no, there's quite a few knocking about still. Which is impressive. Look at the personality radiating off her. She genuinely looks a little bit lost. Oh, Caitlyn. Oh, we're gonna get to see Caitlyn. Oh, Caitlyn's one of my all-time favorites. Oh, did she just get two full handfuls and shove her? Pretty sure she did there. Could have pushed her anywhere. But you shot your shot, Tamina, and I respect it. That got our hand in a hurry. There was a slap and a push. Hell yeah. This music's dreadful, though. What is this music? Woo! One guy's into this. I'll tell you what, this is the biggest difference in the last 10 years, isn't it? The women's division. Like, I love Caitlyn, but, like, what was her character? Like, yeah, what's the gimmick? What's Tamina's gimmick? I'm Jimmy Snooker's daughter, but don't do anything Snookerish. I just walk to the ring generically. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, this is no disrespect to the women involved. This is the booking. It was just rubbish. Wasn't even attempting to be good though. It was like, well, we had a title made, so we should feature it. Like, you know, that's just how it feels like it was. But now you have like female wrestlers with gimmicks and storylines and titles that feel like they matter a bit more. It's a great improvement, but it's just a shame it took so long. This is 2013. Alright, Scooby-Doo. Like, Scooby-Doo being electrocuted. Oh. You know what I don't understand? I'm getting a bit uncomfy here. Whenever I do these watch-alongs, I get a bit uncomfy. Yet, I stream for longer than this when I stream video games. Let's have a look at this women's roster. Natalia's still about. I guess she counts. That's Layla and Oksana, I think. None of them are about. Okay, I'm gonna include Natalia. She was shown in a non-video package capacity. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, I stream for like longer than this in the same chair, sat in the same position as I am now. I never get uncomfortable. I think it's like placebo uncomfortability because my ADHD doesn't cope as well with watching stuff as it does with playing games. I'm not a good spectator of things. And I have to try and keep, because I'm like providing the watch along commentary, I have to try and, like, when I'm watching wrestling just casually, you know, I'm like playing on my phone or I'm doing something on my laptop or I'm like tidying or cleaning or, you know, I'm doing something that's also taking some of my attention. Whereas when I'm doing this, I have to try and actually concentrate because otherwise you'd get, you know, 25 minutes of silence while I play a game on my phone whilst glancing up at what's happening. So, yeah, I think that's why I get uncomfortable. I think it's like my ADHD. It's like, hey, your back hurts. Why? So that you move and do something else because I'm struggling, says my brain. Samoan drop. Nobody's meaner. Oh no, it's ain't nobody meaner, isn't it? Is that the correct phraseology for it? Tamina is definitely big enough, like tall enough to go between the top and middle rope, right? Weird little smile. Nope, that's not a Superfly splash, that's a miss. Not the worst spear I've ever seen. Tamina kicks out at 3.5. What's that? What's up with that? having a. I mean, do you know what? The intro to this song is a bit of a banger, and then the lyrics come in, and it makes it worse. The first like few seconds of Caitlin's music is like proper rave banger stuff, and then you've got this voice. Shut up. Just do the instrumental. It's way better. Anyway, that was reasonably inoffensive. I mean, it was very offensive in terms of the booking, but I mean, the match wasn't bad. Wasn't great, but that's what happens when you're given 4 minutes or whatever they did. Do you reckon that was longer or shorter than the Chris Jericho Daniel Bryan section of that Elimination Chamber match? That's my question. Okay, I'll see you soon then, love. See what I did there? I assume this has been done just with green screen boards, right? It's pretty clever though. I like it. Like the thing they're holding, it's just going to be green screen boards, isn't it? So there we go. That's when the watch along of WrestleMania will be. It will be not on Sunday, but it will be on April the 7th. So it's 2 days out, isn't it? So it'll be on a Friday again. Of course it will, because they were always on Sundays, and yeah, that doesn't change a whole lot. So yeah, it'll be on Friday, I imagine, April the 7th. Mark it in your calendars. Watch WrestleMania with me. Oh, main event time. Okay, we're getting there. What a catchy stipulation. God, I hated this. I remember watching this. I distinctly, vividly remember watching this live and being so mad. That should have just been the finish, and they could have taken the title off Punk at Elimination Chamber. You don't, I am. It'd have been amazing if Punk would have just won here. Like, just knee to the face, GTS win. Yeah, I remember being so mad. So mad. No, he was always the People's Champion. He's once again the WWE Champion, you idiot, Michael Cole. Yeah, I remember hating this. I was a big CM Punk fan. But fundamentally, I just disagreed with it. Like, you could have just made CM Punk. Like, he was already kind of made, but obviously he wasn't because he's not there now. And he didn't even last that long. He was gone within a year of this. You say what you like about Phil Brooks and his influence backstage and his behavior, but CM Punk was just incredible. If it's a was, if he doesn't come back, then he was incredible. If he does come back, he is incredible. Especially at the promo stuff. Like, he's good. He's good in the ring. I never agreed with him saying he was the best in the world. He wasn't even the best in WWE at that point. Daniel Bryan was right there. Yeah, you were too far away for that to be a real surprise there, Punk. Was this just so Rock didn't have to carry it through airports, do you reckon? He was like, yeah, I want to be WWE champion, but I don't want to carry the belt. Like, come on, Vince. What? Speaking of banger entrance themes, before as we were, CM Punk might have the best track record in history for entrance themes. Like when you consider all entrance themes across the years. I have that hoodie. Absolute mark. I do have that hoodie though. What a great sign. CM Punk should have got the Roman Reigns reign. Fight me. Actually, I love the Roman Reigns reign. I love this version of Roman Reigns. I have nothing against him having this. But, so, I don't necessarily mean lengthwise, but imagine if CM Punk would have been treated as Roman Reigns is during his reign. Like, made into the biggest thing instead of just, like, secondary to Cena. Just great heel work. Love it. You know, that belt didn't spin anymore, did it? Why was the WWE logo fixed in place wonky? Because it is. That's wonky, that WWE logo. God, I'm so glad Paul Heyman eventually got rid of that little pathetic ponytail at the back. Like, why did he keep it going for so long? I don't remember this match. I remember vividly. I don't remember the Royal Rumble matches like vividly either, but I remember hating the finish. I remember my reaction to it. But I don't remember this match. I don't remember if it was good or not. So I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to reliving something I have very much forgotten by this point. Now, you know, like some matches really do stick in your mind. Some for good reasons, some for bad. This one doesn't. Rocky rocks. Great sign. Probably just insulting some child when I do that, but oh well. Oh well, it should make a better sign then, shouldn't they? Oh, by the way, can't add anyone from the main event. Oh, I can actually. Paul Heyman. There we go. I think that's probably our finished list then. Unless there's a really unexpected run in from someone we haven't seen yet on the show. So the list of people that made it this 10 years is Michael Cole, The Miz, Randy Orton, John Cena in brackets, Sheamus, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Dolph Ziggler, Big E in brackets, Kofi Kingston, Cody Rhodes, Tamina, Natalia, and Paul Heyman. That's all of them. There's that I love the people's strudel sign again. Actually a funny sign. Braden Walker on Riot. Now that's a great sign. Why was that the stipulation? I don't get that. Like, what was the likelihood of Rock? I love Punk. Oh, this is pre-upgraded Brahma Bull Rock. He's got his tribal tattoo on his left boobie, but he's still got the original Brahma Bull. I mean, it's his body, it's his call at the end of the day. I still think it's a shame that he covered up the Brahma Bull. He covered it up with another bull, like, so it's like an evolution thing. It's like Digimon style evolution. It turned into this massive grotty bull. "49 nights. They went 7 weeks without a pay-per-view. Crazy. Electric Boogaloo. You're gonna get this. I don't get it. What was Punk supposed to be that under the Rock's skin? Because nowhere in that video package did I really get the impression the Rock was really like. It got so personal. The Rock was so fuming with CM Punk. Like, he didn't slap the Rock's mum or anything, did he? You know, it's just a wrestling rivalry over a championship. So I don't like the Jericho Punk one. Made sense because Jericho was getting under Punk's skin about the not drinking thing and stuff like that. So, like, it made sense, but this has felt like a world title rivalry rather than a really personal one. So I don't quite get the stipulation. I mean, I know they're going to do a spot in the match where Rock nearly gets counted out or considers getting disqualified, considers doing something illegal. I just don't get why. What's their sexuality got to do with anything, JBL? 3 straight world champions? What's that got to do with anything? Sorry, terrible joke. 2 points, says Heyman. Oh, I remember this relationship with Punk and Heyman. It'd be like, Punk could get like a 1 count, and then he'd get a 2 count, and Heyman would be like, "You got a 1, then you got a 2, next one's a 3, and stuff." It was no fun. Him shouting encouragement, like creative encouragement from ringside, giving him points for shoulder tackles and stuff. Because I will admit, when they first showed Punk and Heyman together in the car, you know, like they drove past and the window wound down, it was Paul Heyman driving it. I remember thinking, does Punk need Heyman? And the answer was no, Punk did not need Heyman. Did Punk benefit from Heyman? Absolutely. Yeah, this heel run was great and assisted by Heyman's presence. Bye, Felicia. I like that. So sometimes, especially when the heel is a bit overmatched physically, you get them being like sneaky and devious and what have you, because you get the vibe they feel they can't win legit, like straight up. You're gonna lose the WWE title over a slap, are you, Rock? But yeah, Punk there, he's walking around with the vibe he can beat the. I mean, now he's trying to get him disqualified, so he's kind of giving the vibe. I'm trying to outsmart him. I maybe can't beat him, but when he walks straight up to it and he's like, he's running through him with the shoulder tackles and then getting really cocky. He's not giving the vibe of someone who needs to cheat to win. He might choose to. Right in his. Look at that. It's right in the middle of his FOD. I don't understand why the stipulation was added, but they play into it reasonably well now that it has been. Yeah, just get double counted out, Rock. It's fine. Like, you keep the title in a double count out, surely. Look at Michael Cole pointing with his pen. No, Paul Heyman cost CM Punk a little bit there because the referee was admonishing Heyman and didn't start the count out earlier. So I disagree there, Cole. Yes, Paul Heyman does benefit Punk. Oh, there we go. There's a 1. So when he gets a 2, Paul Heyman will probably encourage him by saying, "You've got a 1. You've had a 2. Here comes your 3." But yeah, Michael Cole saying that specific time was a time when Heyman benefited Punk. Wrong. Generally, yes. Then, no. Oh, he could have pulled the hair. That'd have been more effective. All right, Jericho. Who did Punk fight at Oh, I remember who Punk fought at WrestleMania 29. Oh, speaking of Heyman and Punk doing fun heel stuff. Oh my god, they really walked the tightrope, didn't they, in the build to WrestleMania? If you remember. If you don't, then you might want to watch the stuff in between before we do the WrestleMania watch along. Just trust me. Just for Punk and Heyman. Rude King. See? I love Heyman for stuff like that with Punk. I love Heyman for the fact that he's different with everyone he manages. Like with Lesnar, he like would barely get involved because Lesnar didn't need it. And with Punk, he'd get involved a bit more and he'd be vocal with stuff like that. With Reigns, he's almost like just a super fan, isn't he? In a way, like he's always got a slightly different vibe depending on who he's managing, which I think is a really cool feature. It's not the same. It is the same Paul Heyman, but he's not doing the same job. I think is a better way to describe it. Oh, that did look pretty good. Not sure if the punch was just really clean or if Punk's sell was great or probably both, but that just looked like it rocked Punk, didn't it? Hey, Heyman, you've had a one, you've had a 1.5, you've had a two, 2.5, half a second away. Love it. I just thought it was a really good little detail. Punk doing the rest hold spot for The Rock because I think by his own admission, The Rock hasn't, like, since he got this big, hasn't been the most in ring shape guy. Different looking good to being fit enough to do a professional wrestling match. Like, it's an arduous task physically. I think part that's understated as well that I sometimes think about when you see these part timers come back or people come back after a long time out of the business is the like I imagine bumps really hurt, but I also imagine over time they hurt less or you get used to how much they hurt. But then if you've been The Rock and you've been in Hollywood and not been taking bumps for all those years, and then suddenly you're taking bumps again, I bet it like hurts more all over again. Rock fighting back now. Does the spit on your hand? Oh, there's the running knee. I think commentators have been talking about Punk wrestling a perfect match. Honestly, a perfect match for Punk in this one would be to speed it up. Like, because The Rock's been away from the business for so long and he's maybe not quite in ring shape. The Punk should be making Rock run around after him, running circles around him. Checking his pulse, as if to say, I'm not even breaking a sweat. I I do question. I mean, I get they're trying to build the drama, but it's so funny when they're like, "Is Punk going to WrestleMania?" It's like, when has he ever won a match with that? What makes you think he's going to beat The Rock of all people with that move? If he's not beating like lower card guys with it, we'll know when there's a potential chance he's going to WrestleMania is if he hits a go to sleep. Move your hat. Uh-oh. Rock lining up the rock bottom. Nope. And again, when has he ever won with that? I feel like there's not enough done in commentary these days talking about people using pins as a way to make their opponent exert energy. Not every pin is because you're expecting to win the match. I used to hear commentators talk about that a lot, and I feel like I don't anymore. And it's been quite a long time. Like back here 10 years ago, I would say it was still an old commentary line that I hadn't heard in a while even then. See, why I don't understand why Heyman's distracting the ref because an announce table spot is never a DQ. But he could be counting right now, so he's got less time. Oh, don't you just hate a table spot where the table doesn't give? See, the referee could have been up to like 3 or 4 or 5 probably by now. Bad strategy. No, bad strategy by Punk and Heyman, distracting the ref when he could have been counting. Heyman counting with the ref. And shockingly, he made it back into the ring in time. Who'd have thunk it, eh? Who'd have thunk it? Is it? Vintage rock, is it, Michael Cole? Like, weirdly, someone could correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I actually don't remember The Rock hitting that many Samoan drops back in, like, his main run. Admittedly, that's because I most remember punches, spine busters, people's elbows, and rock bottoms. Used to do that float over DDT early days, and really early days used to do those shoulder breakers. I don't remember a lot of Samoan drops. He probably did because Samoan heritage. Everyone who's got Samoan heritage has to do a Samoan drop, right? But I don't remember it as being. Certainly wouldn't describe it as vintage, like one of his key facets that he's always done. The side slam before that Kane did, yeah. I know Cole overuses the term, but that was vintage Kane. But not so sure about the Samoan drop. Anyway, nitpicking aside. Yep, snap DDT, vintage rock, honestly. More than a Samoan drop is. Doing his little jitterbug dance. Scooting around. Got a game plan as Punk to get out of it. And that was nice, actually. That worked really well. Fans very split. That's the thing, is as despicable as Punk and Heyman were during this heel run, Punk was just really popular. Like, there was a certain element of the audience who were never gonna boo Punk no matter what he did. And I think, if I'm being honest, I was probably part of that, you know? I don't know, I'm conflicted when I really like a heel, because part of me is like, I don't want to support The Rock here because I really like Punk and I really want Punk to win. But on the flip side, it's like, well, booing this man is my way of showing respect. Oh, bye, Felicia. You know, it's my way of showing he's doing his heel work correctly. We get the visual pin, and that's the moment where you know Punk isn't going to WrestleMania as the champion. A visual pin is the worst thing for a wrestler. When the referee's down and you get the visual 3 count or a visual tap, it's like, oh, so we're keeping them strong. They've had their moment, but they're definitely going to lose. Like, I don't know how consistent that is, but I feel like it must be at least 90% of the time. But Heyman's like, don't check on the unconscious human. Go and referee a wrestling match. And Spinebuster. Now the referee is going to be a bit more keen to get in the ring, I'm sure. I wonder how many people own The Rock's elbow pads over the years from that. Anyone in the comments own one? Cool story. Oh, look, the referee's keen to jump in now. Oh. The fans are eating this. So, honestly, it's a good match. But they are eating this up. A lot of people, and probably rightly so, refer to this as like a really weak era in WWE history, like the sort of late 2000s into the 2010s, like the early to mid 2010s. And it probably is a weak time. I mean, that ref bump was pretty weak, but I mean, there's no denying how into it the audience are right now. And overall, I'd say I've enjoyed the show. There's been moments that weren't great. Been entire matches that weren't great, but I'd say overall, there's definitely flaws. But the product has also been enjoyable. Heyman trying to hold the Rock. Just not even big enough. And Heyman gets it. Bosh. What a sell from Heyman. Looks like he's dead. Oh. Boo. Like I didn't know that was coming. I think by this match I had accepted that it was going to be The Rock. The Royal Rumble one really annoyed me. I think this one was more just like discontented acceptance. just you know when you just accept something is wrong in your life and it just is. That was like my attitude to this being wrong in my opinion in the wrestling world. I mean, that's not booking the odds. That's just fighting the level odds. Like, going into a multi-man match or a handicap match, yeah, that's booking the odds. Winning a one-on-one match where you no longer have the option to lose in certain ways and keep your title, that's not booking the odds. If anything, any match where that's not the stipulation and the title does change hands is booking the odds because the champion had ways to lose and keep the title. I think he's happy, but kind of hard to tell by his face. He could also be in severe pain from that replay. Overall, good main event, good show. Let me know in the comments what you thought. I'd love to know. Here's the graphic for the match everyone really wanted at this WrestleMania. Once in a lifetime. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you thought. Leave a like if you enjoyed this watch along, and subscribe if you'd like more wrestling content from me. I'm guessing we're basically just running down. I don't want to finish the outro just in case something significant happens, but I don't think it's going to. No, it's done. Okay, well, all I have left to say then is thank you very much for watching. As always, I've been Ibeza. You've been amazing, and I will see you next time.